Well, good morning to the Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion. Today is race day. This is the big one. My name's Kev Harris and I'll be running around the paddock catching up with some of the drivers and the great people that make this event exactly what it is. And I'm pleased to say in commentary we have Johnny Green waiting to go, but standing alongside me, race car driver and motorsport broadcaster, the legend that is Mr. Adam Andretti. Adam, great to see you, pal. We're the luckiest guys in town. It's race day and we're here and we're loving it.
Thanks, Kev. Absolutely. It's race day. The fog is getting burned off here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. We're in good shape. We're going to have ourselves a heck of a time here today. And race day, this is what we do this all for. The energy is going to be at full lift, and I'm just so excited for it.
And the amazing thing is the races that are here this weekend, they're not necessarily pro car drivers. They're just gentlemen and ladies who own these vehicles. They're going to get the same buzz that you get when you go out there on track.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, the stories they're going to tell tonight at dinner and at the hotel and around the bar are so similar to the stories that we tell after race day. It's going to be about how, oh, I was catching you at the end of that one, or I missed the braking zone there or else I'd have got you, or man, we were wearing out the tires. It's going to be all those same conversations, and that's what makes an event like this so magical.
So I think what we're going to do without further ado, Johnny Green, the effervescent Englishman, is waiting to start commentating on the first one of the weekend. It's 1955 to 1961 sports cars over under 2,000 cc's. So without further ado, let's head up to the commentary. Johnny, what you got for us?
So Laguna Seca, you've heard about it, we've talked about it, you've seen it. We're going to see it from lots of different angles. So why don't we take a closer look at the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca circuit. Tell us about it, Adam. It's an interesting place to be.
It's a track that everyone loves. As you drive down the front straightaway here, you're going to come through turn one, usually easy flat in anything you're in, into the Andretti hairpin, hard braking, turn number 2. Turn 3 is a 90-degree right-hander leading into another 90 between 4 and 5. Important corners here, leading 6 up the Ray Hall straightaway all the way up the hill to the world-famous corkscrew, dropping down 59 feet into Wayne Rainey, the left-hander, down the hill to the right-hander, turn 10. Hard braking zone into 11, great passing opportunity, bringing it into the finish line to cover our 2.23 miles here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca.
Here we go. It's the 2021 reunion, and we are reunited for the first race of the weekend. 1955 to 1961, the Roar past our commentary position as they dive into action over the crest and down towards Andretti hairpin.
Love Cameron Healy.
Yep.
Leading up in front there, nimble little car. It's this is what I mean. Honestly, a track like this, WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, built for a car like that. He'll probably get eaten up pretty good by the bigger car behind. But
yeah, that Spencer Trenery just there in the number 60, the white and blue. Then Gregory Meyer, Joey Bougelard right behind him.
Be completing lap 1.
Oh, Trenery going very wide as we complete our first lap of the 2021 Rolex Monterey Reunion. Well, we'll have all the angles covered here at Laguna. You can look at the miles per hour, just over 107 miles an hour for the leaders as they battle toe-to-toe at the moment in the top 5, pulling away with the number 84 of the Sadler Mark IV of Gregory Meyer at the wheel, just behind. He's bringing this lead group. There he is in the blue stripe number 84. There he is. And then there's a little gap to this little battle going on here as we look at the Lister Corvette, the blue and white of David Swig. A long time comer to the Monterey Historics and many other historic events, David.
this is our lead group starting to navigate themselves around some of the slower traffic, which I'm sure can be awfully tricky here, but doing a great job of it. As we get into the live traffic, this is when, sure, we saw a lot of respect when racing for position, but sometimes, you know, with the live traffic, you tend to get a little less patient, want to make your room around, want to make your way around, but we're seeing some very, very good driving already early this morning, which is very encouraging for the rest of the day.
As the checkered flag is out, and we have finished our first race of the day. You've got to be quick on the checkered flags here, you never know. So, confirmation of the result. Cameron Healy with an excellent Cooper 53, and Spencer Trenery and Gregory Meyer in the Sadler Mark IV in third. For the first time of our second race of the day, the Rolex Reunion. in action here for 2021. Good clean start into the Andretti hairpin.
Nice dive bomb, looking to the inside there, turn number 5.
So give me a bit of tactics. Laguna Seca, where do you make your overtakes? Top of the hill?
Sure, at top of the hill. I'm guessing that they discourage passes going into the corkscrew. I would say our passing zones are certainly the Andretti hairpin, certainly turn 11. Those would be your 2 key passing zones for sure.
Leading the way and pulling away as they start their second lap, and just over 100 miles an hour. And as you say, a big moment then for the 25, the Tatum GMC Special.
Was that brake lock-up or was that smoke? And it's almost inside the cockpit. You can see him working the wheel. It's like watching the old footage of Sir Sterling Moss.
Yes.
You know, working that big wooden wheel, or Fangio, working that big wooden wheel, the Mercedes coming through there.
And by the way, if you're interested, go back and look up Fangio or Sterling and look up sort of onboards, because believe it or not, they did strap cameras in the 50s to those cars, and you really do see those big wheels and how they had to muscle them, and how much adjustment they did each and every corner.
Exciting pass for the lead in turn 1. Exciting pass for the lead there. We had the 25 Tatum GMC Special. Again, Robert, I don't think that it was Robert Manson. Oh, yeah, no, it's Robert Manson behind the wheel of that. So that's, again, awesome pass there for the lead. And using traffic as a pick.
Nice.
Notice that?
I like it, yep. You see that Curtis in full.
They're being given the 1 to go. This is our final lap.
Oh. Wow, I'll tell you, these two have had a great little ding-dong battle.
They absolutely have.
And across the line, 92 miles an hour. And a look at the results. Blake Tatum with the win. John Budebaum in second place in the Jaguar. Manson in the Curtis 500. We saw Skip Streets in the Manning Street Special. 1973 to 1981. Beat that for a sound.
Right, immediately to the front of 935, a gaggle of 935s to the front, not a shock. The JLP car was just motoring past the tail end of the field. Like I said, that car did not get a chance to qualify yesterday. That's why it was starting towards the tail of the field.
And he leads the way in that Sachs number 7. Lovely shots here from our cameraman, great stuff. Now, I did say there's no prizes, but each Saturday and Sunday afternoon, Rolex do award a winner voted by the committee. So as the top sponsor, they do make it awards, and there's 2 morning races each day with an honor for Bonham's Cup winner chosen, and there's also special awards for paddock display, best Ford-powered car, outstanding craftsmanship, etc. And the highest honor is the Rolex Spirit of Monterey Award, a Rolex watch and original Bill Patterson painting presented to the entrant who best embodies the spirit of the event. That's not a bad prize. Bill, if you've seen Bill Patterson's pictures, paintings, you'd love them. And who wouldn't have a Rolex watch on his wrist? I don't know if you'd agree. I talked to Tommy Dreese. He had a big Elford Camaro out here in May when we were doing Trans Am. He, of course, races in TA, as you have done in the past. But he was sort of comparing Vic's car and driving it around. He drove it in the historic Trans Am and then drove his own Camaro in the actual race. And I said, well, what's the difference? What's the major difference? And he said, you'd be surprised. Not that much. What about you? Would you agree with that?
I've never driven the old cars, but I would imagine no. I mean, the Trans Am car, the way the rules are written and have always been written, is to make it a beast. It's supposed to be a beast that's hard to drive, hard to handle, that comes down to driver and crew and who can put the best car underneath and make the car last and let it go. As we're exercising the final lap, this race slid right through us as Group 3A just really flies around this WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca.
Zach Brown making it up to 14th place, but here's your winner, about to take the checkered flag, car number 70. A brilliant run, led from the start, the 935 K3 from 1980 with Charles Nürburg at the wheel. Car number 70, Charles Nürburg in that Porsche 935, winning ahead of Carlos de Quesada in the 1979 Porsche Epsom Pappas Webster.
So I find myself down here in the paddock, currently in Porsche heaven. Phil, I have to say, this is the best collection of Porsches we've seen today. You guys do a great job.
Thank you very much. They're all special, and we have a lot of fun doing them, and we make a little money at the same time.
Tell us what's going on with car 55 in front of us here, and just what have you done to this? Because I have to say, it is immaculate.
This car was a special order car, or a special wishes car, if you will, from Porsche in 1962. A wealthy French sportsman ordered the car, and he was going to rally the car. He ordered the car with aluminum panels, which it still has today. Bumpers, centers of the wheels are aluminum. It has a Super 90 motor, which was the largest displacement, most horsepower pushrod motor.
The amazing thing is the guy that owns this one also owns the one that stood behind us. The white one, the 88 car with the orange stripe down the roof. Tell us about this, a different proposition.
This is a 2-liter 911. It's a 1967 911S, but it's a 2-liter car and a vintage racer.
The 1963 to 66 GT over 2500cc. Here we go.
He has got a serious challenge from the outside, but that challenge is thwarted. Once they got to the braking zone, that little AC Cobra can get deep onto the brakes, as you saw.
Yeah.
James moving over to the side. I wonder if James has a mechanical issue.
He slowed right down.
Yeah, he slowed right down.
Good battle going on here at the front. The 2 liters pulling away from the third place Corvette.
They are certainly racing like this is the glory day. So number 96 AC Cobra, 1964 AC Cobra. That actually is James Fondy. Excuse me, I must have been mistaken. Oh, wow, what a cut of the wheel there on the 186 289 Cobra coming down the hill. What a
Shifted.
man, Philip Kaduri not messing around here today, showing every bit of what that 289 could do. Lock up on the right front.
And very close to the front of that Corvette. I think he took him by surprise a bit there, but he is pedaling.
He's acting like this is coming to the final lap.
Yep, and he is. Out of the last corner they come then.
1 lap to go. They're getting the signal from the flag band here.
Final lap then, and there is your second place man. Coming up the hill for the final time.
It's led on there by Philip Kaduri, and then in second place, Robert Kelly. That's how much leverage he had on the wheel. That's how much grip that car was getting coming down the hill of the corkscrew. Because he sees the leader in sight going into turn 11, and he wants a little piece of that.
Well, it's something that's been said many a time over 50 years. A Shelby wins at Laguna Seca. This time it's the 1964 silver 186 car of Philip Kaduri. So confirmation that Philip Kaduri wins in the 1964 Shelby Cobra, and Robert Kelly second, James Farley, who we were talking about, third in the 96, Rob Walton in another Cobra.
We're going to continue our tour of the paddock here at the Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion, and when we come back, well, oh boy, the action's going to continue. See you in 2.
our coverage of the next group, and away we go. It's a small field, but we don't care.
Small but mighty.
Yeah, mighty indeed, and a beautiful sand too, as the 88 Eagle dives into the lead.
This is really quite special. The number 12 car there, you have, that's another AR Eagle, that's Carlos de Quesada.
Yep, he's been out already today, yeah.
He's been out a lot, yeah. I believe he just finished like P2 or P3 2 groups ago.
First 5,500 Pagers.
Into the corkscrew, and already building on that lead.
Yeah, very well. I mean, as well as that car is being driven, it would not surprise me that Mr. Ray Hall's behind the wheel of that.
Ah, they've slowed him right down.
It's a double yellow. Yeah, we have a double yellow out.
There you go, the Eagle on the front. God, it's immaculate, isn't it? And they storm into action past our commentary position, and again. Lovely.
Yeah, those are Eagles at it. One of them's a 1973 Eagle, one of them's a 1968 Eagle.
I'm glad the Eagles haven't landed just yet.
What a striking look. Like we talked about it. You can tell aerodynamics is not fully developed yet because they still let the engine covers off. They weren't that sophisticated to know that that a lot of air disturbance comes from that area. So it's just great, like you said, to see that evolution, the revolution. And then you got this Penske coming right behind.
Yeah.
It's 1978.
You were mentioning the STP. Obviously everybody keeps the liveries as best they can, but
oh, we got a blown engine. That would be Tom. That would be Tom up at the top of the hill. He got offline, good.
And a little moment there, but a little bit of entertainment as the checkered flag waves for Richard Hamlin. And I'm going to bring Gunnar in because he's been out there today and he can tell us about the conditions out there and what it takes to wheel one of these amazing machines around Laguna Seca. Away we go then in our Group 8A.
The car is number one. It is not the driver, and so you just generally try not to put yourself in a position where anybody else can collect you or you can get damage on the car, because that is really first and foremost the most important thing.
Look on the inside of Bruce, getting into the Andretti hairpin. That's the dicey stuff we haven't seen all weekend long.
Oh, no! That's not what meant to happen. We just said Dorsey might be coming into action play, but that was a little too rough.
So they may have gotten away with not having suspension damage, but we'll have to watch the next couple of quarters and see how it plays out here.
Yeah, you can see when we look high above it, you can see the speed differential between he and the other cars as he dives up the inside again on the final lap. He's muscled his way around this track, sometimes a little too hard, but we'll forgive him for that. Well, at least we hope to. And it's the 1991 Eagle Mark III who takes the checkered flag. Charles Nurburg then winner in the Eagle, the Toyota Eagle, and Cal Mika. Bruce Canna for the top three. Joe Robillard is fourth, and Bill Auckland in fifth place.
I say, here we are then in Monterey, California at the 1920 Grand Prix. Behind me, these chaps are getting set and ready to go for the off here. Corky Coker on the tyres and the rest of the blokes are doing everything they can. Hello, what's this? There seems to be a bit of confusion here.
Oh no, they're taking the car apart!
Corky, they're taking it apart. That's not in the rules. It's going to go down in history. This will be Grand Prix history, folks. The engine's out. What on earth's going on?
Get to the racetrack, Kevin?
They've surely got no chance of getting to the racetrack now.
I don't know what to say. They got the frame down on the track, the engine out, the rear end out. They figure out.
There it is. I say, look at that. Some damn varmint from the hills here at Laguna Seca got himself in the engine box. Well, how about that? British engineering at its finest here in the US of A. Wow! Tell you what, how about that, Johnny and Adam, down here at Laguna Seca in the pits. The ragtime racers have really put on a show for the folks. Let's go on out to the start and see how they all do.
Guys, you can't say this is not different, and you can't say this is not special. Like, even Adam Andretti is getting his camera out to take a picture of something.
We are gridded up to the front here and ready to get the green flag, Jonathan.
And I'll tell you what, these guys will race, no question.
Yes, they will.
Here we go then.
They will.
Let's just listen. Quit grinning.
The goosebumps. The goosebumps.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
Absolutely glorious.
I mean, folks, it's probably a good 78 degrees here in the booth, but I'm chill. I got chills right now. We've got ourselves a for sure leader here.
Oh yeah, well, he got over the crest real quick and straight into the Andretti hairpin. And it's the 45 in the mid-pack there. The 1969 Mustang Boss 302.
Well, that's one of our javelins that's going to be up front there. I just haven't distinguished which one it is, whether it would be the 68 or the 72.
There's the Tempest.
Yeah.
Can't miss the Grey Tempest.
Can't miss the Tempest.
God, this is huge. This field is amazing.
The competitors want to come drive those cars, and it's nothing strange.
Somebody hit the dirt there for a second.
I think it was the leader. It looks like they lost position, and it looked like, for me, they were getting ready to go a little wide. Jim was there, Jim Haig, in that AMC Javelin. It looked like he missed the turn in and caused him to be a little wide at the bottom of the hill.
And yes, he did lose a place, that's for sure. He's still in there, in the number 2. There he is.
I believe he lost his Jim to Jim Farley. Would have been taking the lead then in that Mustang.
That would be quite a footnote if Jim Farley could win for Ford here in 2021. Here's another look at it.
There's a look of coming down the downhill.
Yeah. Ooh. That he's lucky to just have gone that far off, because that could have, you're going down, quite hurtling downhill at quite a pace, Ray. This is really
race.
coming down to the wire, isn't it?
Down to it.
And then, no, that's the 61.
That is James Hosley.
He's a long way into the gravel, too.
And the checker flag is out for this session. Checker flag is out. They'll get to accelerate to the checkered, so that's
And Ford's James Farley wins at Laguna Seca in a Ford, ahead of a host of Javelins, Camaros, and what a moment. And Jim Farley takes the win in the 1970 Ford Mustang. Chad Reynolds in second place. Ken Adams third. Joshua Fieber in fourth position. Jeffrey O'Neill in fifth.
All right, we're going to continue the coverage here at Monterey right after this short commercial break. When we go back, we'll be going racing.
to Laguna Seca, the WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Fantastic sound.
Yeah, we don't dare say a word when they kick off right
gotta
there.
hear 'em.
We have to let, not only do we want to hear, we gotta let that audience at home really capture that sound. What an amazing sound.
Superb. And away they go. Good start then, a good clean start. We've got a good field. Not a big field, but it doesn't matter. There's certainly plenty to talk about, plenty of cars out there.
It's not a large field, but it is quality. I mean, we have, you know, the Niki Lauda World Championship 312 T2 there from 1976 that we've spoken to Chris McAllister about already. Well-documented car there. You know, Alex McAllister's son is in the 67 Lotus 49. You know, that was debuted by Jimmy Clark in Zandvoort in 1967 and it won in its first appearance.
And leading the way, Charles Nurberg, as he's done, he's already won a race earlier today in a Porsche. And he's now taking that F07C Williams from 1981 to the lead. Beautiful sound. They're up to speed now. You can hear that hum.
Working their way through those gearboxes, you know, mostly 5-speed gearboxes in these cars, and such a crisp way to get it through. And there's the 51, that LEC CRP1 again coming through of Ron Maiden.
I think I went to my first Formula One race in 1973 at Brands Hatch. Love it.
That's cool. That's be a fly on the wall there at that time would have been really.
Well, Brands Hatch was a fantastic circuit because it still is, of course, but to see Formula One, I think more so than Silverstone, you see more, you know?
Right.
You stand at the top of Paddock Hill Bend and you can see them go up, down into Druids, and then you can see them coming out of the forest and then round the front straight again. So you get a lot more viewing than you would a lot of other tracks.
A really good classic spectator course there.
Oh, yeah.
Another one of those. That's,
well, not dissimilar to Dakota in that respect.
right.
See.
Right. That Jägermeister car that just came through that 74 March 741. Martin Lauber behind the wheel. What a breathtaking car that is.
And the Arrows, the A4 getting side by side with the Lotus. And passing it.
We saw that coming for a while. They've been closing in. You know, might have just a little bit better tire wear. It could be one of those things. It might be just some fall off.
Here we go. Beautiful overtake. Nicely done by the number 61. And that's the way you overtake.
And the checker flag
is out. Yep. And as they cross the line, that's our first look at a Formula One cars. And there's your winner. A check on the results then. Charles Nurberg in that 81 Williams wins from Gregory Thornton in the 82 Lotus. Cal Mika in third place. Wade Carter, Bud Moeller in fifth.
We've got a Lotus here, of which only 2 versions were ever made.
This was the second car made. The very first one was Sterling Moss. At the serial number, I'm just going to say 1, and this was serial number 2. They were made in England by Colin Chapman, and it's the car that revolutionized the racing, sports car racing. It's considered a sports car. This is the car that Dan Gurney won most of his races in, and not only Gurney drove this car, but Jimmy Clark drove it, Phil Hill drove it, Bobby Unser drove it, and Chuck Day drove it. Probably one of the most historical cars here in the paddock. It's the winningest Lotus 19. I worked on the Lotus 19. I worked on my dad's Ferraris and stuff, but this car I was too young to work on. The car actually raced at Indianapolis in 1954 by Pat O'Connor as a rookie. 55, Billy Vukovich drove it for the same owner who was Lindsey Hopkins. That's the rabbit in the hat. But the car is one of the most sought after cars because it was a very historical car because of Billy Vukovich, and it was hidden for almost 60 years, and I found it in the Netherlands. It took me 6 years to restore the car. I found every bolt and nut and cotter pin that was exactly of the 1954 year, okay? And most of the hardware on the car came from the airplane, the World War II airplane stuff. So I'm very, very fond of this car.
And we got the green flag, the 25.
Group 4A, 1947 to 1955, sports racing, GT cars. A full grid, roaring away into action here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca.
Run from 4 to 5, get a decent run down into 5, and maybe a little late break action, but I believe there's a little protection going on there. Maybe it'll move from the lead itself.
Yeah, when you've got the red gloves on like that, you really see the input, don't you?
This is serious racing time. Like we were informed, Gunnar Jeanette let us know that this morning was qualifying races, and these are the races. This is when it's on the line. As far as if there's nothing on the line.
No prize money,
no prize
but
money.
a lot of bragging rights in the restaurant.
This is when you want to, yeah, exactly. Well, this is who they decide is going to buy the drinks of the night.
It's going to go the long way.
It's going to decide not to do that and go back to a
Just
single
backed out of
file.
it, yeah.
47 miles an hour at Bonneville.
Great stuff.
He was thinking, I don't want to have dinner with Dorsey.
Dorsey Schrader, of course, the competition director here this weekend.
The sheriff in town.
Yeah. As he said, outlaw turned sheriff, because he was once a very handy competitor and champion in Trans Am.
I think if you put a calculator at everything we have here on property, it's got to be right pressed in that $1 billion mark, which is just crazy to think about. I mean, we had a car at auction. What did that go for? 18 million.
Yeah.
Last night is when the hammer
McLaren,
dropped
yeah.
on that McLaren that Gunnar was telling us about. So just
Nuts.
you know, there's so much you can engulf yourself with this weekend here.
And then into the Andretti hairpin.
Oh, big moment there. Just missing out. The 15 getting past the 9. Those two have been battling on. Finally, the 15 getting ahead of him at the closing stages there. And he's made it stick and pulled away quite dramatically as he goes up the hill for the final time in that Manning.
It's definitely it's a lot of work to wrestle those things around. Checker flag is out. That's the end of the race here. Group 4A.
Yep, good race. And some nice action too to observe, and some beautiful cars once again. So confirmation of the results. Skip Streets in the Manning Street Special. Ironically, 1952, Rob Manson second, and John Budavon in the Jaguar Parkinson Special in third.
Here we come.
Well, let's hear him roar off the line then. Here we go. Group 3A.
John Paul Jr. was like a big brother to me. I've heard the stories from John himself driving that car and coming from a 4-lift Ford to a 935. And he said, you know, I'm approaching the corner at 60, 70 more miles an hour, but the braking zone was the same. And he said, I remember the first time he went on the brakes in the 935, he screamed because of the pain from the seatbelts, because he wore the seatbelts a little looser like he did in the Formula Ford. And he threw him into the belts, and it hurt him. And so it's just a masterful car. To see it out here running under the umbrella of HSR is just brilliant.
Charles Nurburg looking for his third win here. Carry on, Dave.
The dominance that the 935 had. It was back to John Paul Jr., you know, and he always said that's by far the best Porsche he ever drove, and he drove a lot of them. And he said that 935, there was nothing like it. It was the first time at Sebring. Turn 1 was 200 miles an hour, and he held it flat. And that says a lot about the man, and it says a lot about that car.
Yeah. So Group 3A about to complete as we look for the first time at the Brumos Porsche just for a moment there.
I love the Brumos colors. We speak about that a lot. Peter Gregg and how he made those colors famous, and that legacy carries on for many, many years after after his falling for a minute, you know.
Well, you're racing Simon currently, right?
Yeah, I do race Simon in the Trans Am. Simon and I are great friends, and Simon also started the Peter Gregg Foundation this year and asked me to be on the board for that, and I'm proud to be on the board. They have their first group of 5 students right now that are spending 90 days in Florida at their shop, and we're building a 944 turbo that Simon is actually going to go race.
Charles Nurburg then comes out of the final corner and will take the checkered flag here at Laguna Seca, crossing the line at some 111 miles an hour for his third win of the day. It's the number 70 of Charles Nurburg in that 1980 Porsche 935 K3, who wins over Timothy Pappas in second, Carl de Quesada in third place, Ken Epsman in fourth. Group 1A roars into action here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca.
And if you're wondering if you've been watching over the last couple of days and you're like, oh, I love the cars in the B group, and you're wondering where the B group's been today,
that's tomorrow.
Tune in for us tomorrow. That's when you're going to find our B groups.
Well, Trenere back in the red helmet, back in the number 60, takes the lead again. Third place is the 84, that's the Sadler Mark IV of Randy Hill at the wheel. And Big T, Big Tom, ooh, oh no!
Oh, we got one off.
Into the dust goes the 34. Great racing here, and yeah, I was looking forward to this because we've had 2 days of practice, which is fun, and it gives us a chance to take a closer look at the cars, but what we really want to see is see them race, because this is where it becomes fun.
For sure, without a doubt. It is at its most fun, and this is what they've all worked for.
Back with the number 60, the Cooper Monaco, leading the way.
We know there's nothing on the line. It's really comes down to pride and stories being told. But you know, those stories are told for years and years and years to come, and that's what it's all about.
Certainly is. Beautiful day here in the Monterey Hills, as the reunion is back, and back with a vengeance.
Al-Haiek running in P16. That was a feature that we had today, getting to talk to him, and you know, really rich hair, really very rich racing heritage within the Arciero family. But I think Frank Arciero was maybe the partner with Cal Wells with the IndyCar team that ran Hiro Matsushita back in the early 90s. There was Arciero Wells IndyCar team, so I would have to go down there and talk to the group there, but if I'm correct, and those are the same family, I believe it was Frank Arciero that was that partner.
Well, near perfect conditions here. Oh no! And a little accident at the top of the corkscrew as somebody's become uncorked. Who says they're not racing?
Right, that was being impatient working through traffic, right? Didn't want to lose an inch going through traffic. But you know, it's really important to understand your gaps.
A little bit of body work. The checkered flag out though. Spencer Trenere wins in rather dramatic fashion in the Cooper Monaco. Gets a bit of damage, but gets through. Gregory Meyer in second place with the 1959 Sadler Mark IV. Cameron Healy in third.
It just does not get any better. We're going to take a short break and catch our breath, and we'll see you on the other side of this.
So we look high above the paddock one more time here at Laguna Seca. It's a beautiful day here, Nav. Here we go. 8A blasts into action here at the Rolex reunion.
A blast, do they? Down in the Andretti hairpin.
Side by side, how about this?
Bruce Canepa.
Oh, Bruce, and does he make it? Oh no!
Oh,
Well, they put him off. I don't think they touched.
He
But
sucks him
into
around
the kitty
and
lip, both of
Bruce-
them have gone off.
The Toyota was the fastest. Remember the Toyota, the Mark III Toyota, AAR Toyota was the one that actually won the qualifying race. Should have started on pole, but because of that contact, I think, with Bruce, I believe they might have put him to the tail. That might have been his penalty, was to start towards the back. So taking a look here again, Bruce is going to get late on the brakes. It's a really good run out there. Look how tight they are. See what I'm talking about? When you're pulling the air off of the car, literally pulling the air off the car.
And the door came open
Flew
too.
the door right open on that. If Bruce is the king of starts, I'm guessing he's pretty good at restarts as well.
Yeah, I'll bet.
But really, I mean, the 10 car there of Joe Robillard, he wasn't leaving anything to question. But look at how when it spooled up, Bruce just really took off.
Yeah, we haven't talked too much about Roush, but what a name synonymous with American racing, huh?
And a man who's still out there kicking, right?
Yeah,
He's still, you know, going strong. I don't know how many plane crashes he's survived, but he's an avid pilot, and went through a little stretch of bad luck there where he was going down on his airplanes, and but the man is like just almost unflappable, and as you see one of those examples, rolling uphill, that's a milestone.
That Hans sponsorship, would that be the early Hans device? It looks like the same logo.
You know, it was,
Tough question.
It is. I didn't get a look at the logo, so it
when you
is a
see
tough
it,
one.
you'll recognize
Yeah.
it. Whoa! And another spinner. Let's have a look at the spin.
A little wide on entry,
Yeah.
that's what caught him out. A little wide on entry, got behind on the steering by the end there. A lot of load up on the suspension. But really been checking out ever since, just cutting the lap times and making it look really rather easy from that point of view. And you know, I'm sure from inside the car with Bruce, it's a bit of a sweat fest. I'm sure he's working hard inside there, but having fun nonetheless, grinning ear to ear. A result is a result, and as we like to say, Bruce does a really good job of positioning himself in cars that are going to be competitive.
And as if Porsche didn't need another win, they'll take one. So, confirmation of the Group A results. Bruce Canepa takes another victory, and so does Porsche. Joe Robillard in second place takes a 1-2 for Porsche, the 962. And then Taz Harvey.
Down to turn 1.
A great ensemble of historic beauties. Flag waves and away we go here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Farley leads the way once more. He's already run one race, but he hasn't had enough yet. But he's got his work cut out now.
We call that opposite lock, butterflies open.
Yes, butterflies open. Butterflies absolutely open, and butterflies on the stomach as well.
Yes, sir.
AC Cobra in third place, the 96. 186 of the Shelby Cobra 289 leading the way, Philip Fedori.
96, that is Jim Farley. That is we've mentioned him quite often. He's been a star of the show for many reasons.
Yeah.
A star of the show because he's behind the wheel getting the job done.
Corvette for the lead. And takes it. Nicely done. Whoa! He is pedaling. I love it. This is absolutely insane and just what we want from historic racing. Although I'm sure Dorsey's turning at the moment. He's stirring his coffee. Now, it's starting to get a puff of smoke going on in that Corvette at the moment. I'm a bit worried about that. Or is that just the mixture? What are you thinking as we see
Well,
it?
you know, the fact that the lead has gone away,
It's starting to slide a bit too. Let's hope the 32 can hold it all together in that Corvette. The red, white, and striped.
Robert Kelly.
Whoa, Charlie.
He's filling that mirror of the Corvette there. He's filling that one up of the Corvette of Robert Kelly.
Ooh, somebody's hit the dirt.
Looks like we got one off.
Oh, please.
Oh, it's clean.
Oh, and it's clean. It's very clean. Nicely done. 186. That's Philip Fedori who led early on, but just spun it round. Who says they're not pushing?
Because he's going to come around the corner and he's going to get this checkered flag waved at him right here.
Yeah, Robert Kelly's put on a great show in that beautiful Corvette from 1966, a 55-year-old car. So then, the Group 2A looks like this. Robert Kelly having an absolute ball in his Chevrolet 1966 5.4. Lorne Liebel, in the end, takes second place in the Shelby Cobra.
Perhaps one of the most iconic Ferrari racing cars of all time from 1976. And the man who owns Niki Lauda's car from that iconic era stood next to me. What a great machine.
I saw the car here in maybe 1996, knew the owner, admired it, and asked him, hey, if you ever think about selling that, call me.
Yeah.
He said, sure, okay. And 2 or 3 years later, he called. It's a famous car. It's got good history. It's very original, and I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
You know, so you can drive as fast as you want, but you got to be careful and not hurt the car. So
Yeah.
it's a balance.
I mean, the amazing thing is, as we come along your line of cars, the next one along the line then, we got Jim Clark's 1967 Lotus.
The Lotus is perhaps the most important car
Yeah.
in the collection, and Jimmy Clark was a boyhood hero, and as most of your viewers probably know, that car was sold by Chapman to an American in race in 69, 70, 71. So it's been in the U.S. for a long time. And I admired it forever, and the fact that I had a chance to buy it one day was like a dream come true. Never expected that.
Formula One from 1966 to 1985 here at Laguna Seca. Let's hear them roar.
Charles Nearberg wasting no time to get
Zero
a jump
time.
on the field.
Williams, Lotus, Tyrrell, Arrows. What a wonderful, yeah, I'd love to be
That's a parody.
Isn't that fantastic?
That is a parody. This is like, again, we say it so often, don't we? It's click your heels
Yeah.
and you go back
And
in
you're back
time.
there.
Yeah,
Superb.
go back 40-something years. That car really seems to come alive and really come to its own quickly. Listen to them scrap through the gearbox as they come down the corkscrew. Oh.
Ouch.
Oh, got a tank slapper up there at the top. Gonna spin just into the gravel. No harm.
Oh, no.
No foul. Just gonna roll it back.
Yeah, not as anxious as I thought, actually. Yeah, he thought he could save it. He might have saved that. No, up went the visor. Yeah, welcome to the corkscrew.
Looking at the results here, Charles Nearberg in the 1981 Williams FWOC. Here we are, and there's our rundown as P1 was taken on by Charles Nearberg.
Trans Am in its element, where it became so popular. Laguna Seca, Monterey, California.
What a great start. What a great side-by-side start all the way through the field as the rest of the field's coming through turn 11 in this large field, side-by-side, down into the Andretti hairpin.
Boss 302, James Farley at the wheel, as he should be, the CEO.
Absolutely.
On board.
Yeah, he's in that Peter Gregg, Mustang. That was a car that Peter Gregg drove with great success. Peter Gregg, a legend in sports car racing, but more so with Porsche, right? I mean, people never would associate, rarely would associate, unless you really know the sport, Peter Gregg with Trans Am in the heyday here, and with the factory Ford.
Well, either way, they're going to come out side by side. Yep, they do.
There is not a seat that has a butt in it right now on the front straightaway. They are all on their feet watching the three-wide battle down the front straightaway for the top 4 positions.
This is fantastic. Look at this. This is how modern day Trans Am. This is like Nashville last weekend. Oh, back he comes on the inside.
It a race. I mean, you don't. We can't call this one. You're never. I mean, if you're in Vegas, you can't bet on who's going to win this race right now. There's no way.
Come up to the top of the corkscrew for the final time. There's nothing in it. Absolutely nothing. Back goes the 45. Battle of the day here at the reunion, and what a way to finish it.
Tail happy as they come to the checkered flag. Fantastic finish.
So Ken Adams in the 45 does take the 69 Ford Mustang Boss 302 to victory over the 50X of Patrick Byrne. The 42 of Ken Epsom took third. My thanks to Adam Andretti, to all our guests, and for HSR for organising what has been a wonderful return to racing. You want a reunion? You've got one. We've got more to come from me, Jonathan Green. Until tomorrow, and the final day of the 2021 Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion.